Hey, I'm Carrie from carriedahlgren.net, and today I'm going to share my story of how I stopped binge eating. In this video, I'm going to cover three things. I'm going to discuss the cause of binge eating, the method I use to stop, and then examples from my life so that you can see what this looks like, because it's really not obvious how to apply it. So first, the cause of binge eating is always because there's a feeling that we don't want to feel. I know this sounds really strange, and if this is a new concept for you, I really recommend watching my other videos and reading my blog, because this is the foundation of my psycho-spiritual approach to weight loss. And the method I use to stop myself from binge eating is called the stop, drop, and feel method. I have a whole video on it that I will link down below, but a really quick synopsis of it is that when you're in the middle of a binge, you pause the binge, promise yourself that you can get back to it when you're done, but I promise you that you won't. Drop into your body and ask yourself, what am I feeling? And I guarantee you every single time it will absolutely surprise you what feeling is inside of yourself that you actually had no idea was there and that was causing you to binge. So recently I had several binging episodes that really took me by surprise, because I have been practicing the stop, drop, and feel method for so long that I haven't been binging for almost a year. And so when it all of a sudden became a problem for me this last month, I really looked at myself and asked myself, like, what is going on? So the first thing that happened was life got really crazy and chaotic, and I sought the advice from a psychic for the first time. I had never seen a psychic before, and I was excited to see what she would say. And I was very intrigued by our session because the first thing she brought up was something from my past, something very uncomfortable from my past. She brought up a nanny that I lived with when I was a little kid, and she wasn't the nicest person. And then the psychic asked me, how many people do you trust? And I sat there and I got really sad, because I started thinking about all the people that I am close to that I don't trust. And the psychic told me that because my parents never believed me when I would try and tell them how my nanny was manipulating me, I lost trust in myself and therefore other people. And when I learned that, I fell apart. I was crying. I was so sad, and it was almost like I was grieving over my younger self and that awful stage in my life. And so for the next several days after that session, I was binging again, and I didn't really get it, but I was just such in this daze that I didn't really stop to question myself. And on the third day, I realized, like, Carrie, we know better than this. We know that these binges are caused by a feeling that I am not feeling. So I did the stop, drop, and feel method. I stopped, dropped into my body, and asked myself, what am I feeling? And I started sobbing. I started crying super hard and just like grieving. And I let myself sob for a while, and the desire to binge absolutely went away at the end. And it really opened my eyes to how powerful this method is, because when we are willing to look at ourselves and give our feelings the attention they deserve, they pass through us. We make space for them, we feel them, and then they leave our body, and the desire to binge also leaves. Another example of how I recently stopped myself from binging was when I started eating a ton of candy, because I love Sour Patch Kids. But it wasn't just like one bag here and there. I was like really going at it. And what was happening was I signed up for this retreat next month where you really dig into your past and heal everything that sort of all the wounds that you haven't looked at. And part of the retreat involves this homework, and the homework has you really sort of digging around in your past and reflecting on things, and it really just brings up uncomfortable memories. And I just wanted candy, and I thought it was stress, because when you binge, it's never obvious. It is never obvious what the feelings are that are causing you to binge. But when you stop, drop, and feel, it becomes very obvious. So I was in the middle of doing this homework that was really uncomfortable, and I gravitate towards the kitchen and immediately reach for candy when I'm not hungry. So I stop myself and I ask myself, what am I feeling? And the answer was discomfort, sadness, procrastination, and all these things came up, and I just made space for it, allowed the feelings to pass through me, and the desire to eat Sour Patch was gone. And so that was another smaller example that showed me how powerful the stop, drop, and feel method can be for curing binge eating. This is a really difficult practice to start because when you've been living detached from yourself for so long, it's often very painful and uncomfortable to pay attention to yourself and look at the feelings that you've been avoiding. But this is a skill that gets better with practice, and I promise you that in the beginning it might suck, it might really suck, but you will get better at it in time. I've been at this for almost a year now, and it's just now really starting to click and gain momentum, and so I want you to be really patient with yourself and give this method a good solid try, and let me know how it goes for you in the comments below. I would love to help coach you through it if you have any issues. And so that concludes the method that I use to stop myself from binge eating. Again, there is going to be a link down below to the Stop, Drop, and Feel video so that you can get more information on that. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. I post new content every Sunday. I will see you guys next week.